response, as this poem is like a text thread that goes left on red. Because they'd rather emojis appear, but my words shall speak so loud and clear and vividly appear, because a conversation with this generation is about the riddle we're facing. Here we go. Living for God is a price, yet it's free, but it seems our society leaves it on the rack. As they clear trends got me questioning, is living for God in this day and age not in? It's like we got one foot in, like eeny, meeny, miny, and yes, I got mo as the Lord caught this young man by my toe, and no, I didn't have to let me go as the Holy Spirit in a mighty mode increased in my soul. And now here I stand bold, trying to gather any and many souls. Because on the count of 3, I'll be the last one to say, not it, which causes me to be it, because we are called to be in this world, but not of it. And he is amongst hot boys and hot girls that's just trying to have a hot boy and hot girl summer, so the word of God they pass around like a hot potato. Because it's trendy to let the word of God heat up and down our timeline, but it's a whole other thing to let the word of God heat up and down our lifeline. Meanwhile, something else is heating up, because we confuse real love with puppy love, because sometimes we're really just being heat. And the cycle repeats of babies booming babies, lately causing us to be on the verge of hatching eggs and not bearing the yoke that the Lord has for our lives. Things I've seen with my own eyes, like how some of us fill ourselves up with temporary sensations to numb bad vibes. But will you really escape when that sensation has a time limitation? And when you come down off that high, the same problems you still facing. And we puff, pass, and unlike the big bad wolf, we still can't blow our problems down. And how does this sound? If it's the truth that sets us free, why does the church rather hide it and not seek? So my words are like a peekaboo at the pews. Because so many members just hiding under a shell, yet got the nerve to pop their head back out saying, all is well. How? When young people dropping out of the church faster than they kneeling down in front of the pulpit because the youth not leaving the church is leaving the youth. And here's the proof. The church is so quick to tell young people about themselves, yet the church fails to represent itself. Maybe we need to stop preaching to the choir and start preaching to the culture, to shift the culture. Because with time comes change. Yet the churches remain the same, but the youth they shame and blame for not wanting to change. But before they even know our name, they throw us in the choir before even bringing us down to the altar first. Woo! And what hurts? A local corner church converts to a mega church because so many young people only come into the church when it's a community hurt of a homeboy body that's being carried in a hearse. And then we hashtag R.I.P. man, fly high. But 2 weeks later, we feel like doing the same thing that leads to our eternal demise. Some of us abandon living right for the trend and fit in. So if I could just have one conversation with this generation. Salem Bible Youth, what's up? So I introduced the title of this lesson with my very own spoken word. You can call it a rap, you can call it a beat, you can call it a flow. I just simply call it bars. But I say that to say that this is a conversation with this generation. That I come to you today out of the pages, out of the reality that we face, y'all, as young people that's just trying to make it. I'm talking about temptation, peer pressure, doubt, discouragement, fear, different things that we as young people face. I could have easily came here today, everyone pull out your Bibles and turn with me. No. Because the reality of it is, we face real things, so we gotta have conversation. Look at your neighbor and say, a little conversation ain't gonna hurt nobody. A little conversation ain't gonna hurt nobody. Because when I think about it, y'all, keeps it real. Right? I'm just going to put it out there for y'all. I keep it real for anybody who may be like, oh my God, the minister, he just saying, oh my God, really? Yes. Because it's the real that we go through. And, you know, when I really think about it, if the church doesn't talk about it, it leaves room for the world to define it. If the church does not talk about it, the church does not get us ready for it, then it'll be ready for us. If the church does not get us ready to take things on, then it'll take us out. It'll take us out. Because we could come to youth Sunday, we could sing, we could be here with a tie, and we could come here, Jesus, 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 but oh boy, Daquan still be in your DMs. And when you leave here today, those dudes that you know you shouldn't be hanging with, that's trying to get you to sag and wear your pants to your knees, that's trying to get you to take a puff or take a sip just for the night, just for the turn up, they still waiting on you once you leave here today. Oh boy who trying to get at you in your DMs is still waiting on you. Oh girl in your text threads is still waiting on you. So I say that to say, hey. I say that to say simply because, y'all, when we think about it, we really got to have some conversation about this stuff because today, I come to you today not as a professional minister, but as more so a big brother who happens to be a minister, right? Because with this stuff that we face, y'all, I really came today to save a life because even if this message don't hit you right now, even if this message don't get to you right now, I promise you that somewhere in your life, 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, when you start high school, when you start college, or maybe even Monday when you go back to school, I promise it's going to hit you, because after this message, you're going to be able to say, I've been here before. I've seen this before. I know how to maneuver around this now. Oh, Minister Warren told me about these girls that's going to talk stuff about me just because they're hating on me. Oh, Minister Warren told me about this dude who's going to try to get me to sag my pants and do some things that I know I shouldn't be doing. Oh, Minister Warren warned me about this young lady or this guy who's trying to talk me into coming to his room. Because that's the reality of it. If the church doesn't talk about it, we'll slip right through the cracks. We'll slip right through the cracks. Everybody say a conversation. And what makes this message so timely is because raise your hand if you're in middle school. Raise your hand if you're in high school. And the thing is, when we go through middle school and we go through high school, life hits us fast. It comes. So the older you get, you know how we play video games? Raise your hand if you got 2K. Hey, I know everybody got 2K. Y'all know like when you playing 2K or even just video games in general. You know like the next level that you make it to, the harder it gets. That's how life is. That life is the same way. Some of y'all like, no, I don't get hard for me. I'm cold, man. I'm cold, I'm good. No, that's how life is. It gets harder. And it's going to come at you in so many different ways, y'all. And we got to be ready for it. And one of the first illustrations, y'all. So I like to illustrate. So that's how your feet look. And you got to get to my point, too. I'm glad you said that. So I'm going to be looking for people about their participation life because, like I said, so many things are going to come at you. And the older we get, we got to know what to do with it, right? So many things will come at you from so many ways, from so many different perspectives, from so many different people, from so many different things. And I need somebody who think they can actually fit these shoes. I got $10 for somebody who think they can fit these shoes. Who think they can fit? No, seriously, come here. I'll take both of y'all. I'll take all three of y'all. Come on. Well, come here. Let's try. Try to put on these shoes.
Persevere.
And face them.
Not putting it right. No.
Now, I said, try to put it on.
Well, what was actually a...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No.
So,
I'm not getting in there, but like 4 toes in there.
you got 4 toes in there. So, listen to this point, y'all. So, what is this? A conversation with what? This generation. What is this? A conversation with what? This generation. And like I said, as you get older, life is going to come at you on so many different levels. And one of the things it's going to throw at you is going to try to get you to fit in, right? So notice, they couldn't even get their whole foot in this shoe. They couldn't get their whole foot in it. And I came to tell somebody that the older you get, right, if they try to squeeze into this shoe, it's going to hurt. Their feet going to be sore. And I came to tell you right now that life is going to try to get you to squeeze in or fit in or dumb yourself down in so many situations. And every time you do, you're going to hurt your future. Every time you do, you're going to hurt something. Every time you do, you're going to hurt your purpose, you're going to hurt your future, you're going to hurt the plans that God has for your life. Every time that you try to fit in with those girls at the lunch table because you want to be cool and deep down inside, you know that's not you, and they talking mess about everybody else and you just want to fit in so badly that you find somebody else's name in your mouth, this is what happens. You're trying to squeeze into the shoe that you're not meant to fit. You're meant to stand out. Because living for God does not mean you're set aside, it means you're set apart. It does not mean you're set back, it means you're set up. It does not mean you are restricted, it means you are rewarded. Right? So it's okay to be different. Every time you try to be cool and be seen, yeah. And wear your pants to your knees, because all the other dudes wearing their pants to their knees, this is what you look like. Don't they look goofy? Seriously. And I appreciate y'all participating. They look goofy, trying to fit in. And how many of us every single day, we try to fit ourselves in? My young ladies, this is what you look like when you try to fit yourself into that dude you know you shouldn't be dating. Oh, I should have said that. Because we don't like to talk about that. All right, can we get them a round of applause for participating? I got y'all out. Appreciate y'all. Now, I'm going to get a little deeper. Everybody say, uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, so I need somebody to put these shoes on. Let's get it. Oh, you got your X shirt on, bro. That's what's up. That's what we got to talk, man. So, yes. And yes, these are clown shoes.
What foot is this?
That's love.
That's the, that's the left. Yeah, that's the left foot. And these shoes are new, so don't think, anybody wear these shoes prior. These shoes are new, freshly bought.
Baggy shoe?
These are clown shoes, and they slick fit, don't they? We got the drill with it. Hey, so what, and y'all are getting to my point. I heard a few comments say, all he needs is a nose. All he needs is a little rainbow fro. I did. But the point I'm trying to get is, what do we know about clowns, right?
Goofy.
goofy. They like to joke around. They like to play too much. They like to perform acts, put on shows, put on tricks, right? That's what we know about clowns. And I came to tell somebody right now that, like I said, we talked about when life tries to get you to fit in. It's going to be points in your life and moments in your life where life is going to try to get you to take your future for a joke. Let that sink in. Clowns, they play around, they joke, they perform acts, they perform all these things. There's going to be points in your life where people are going to try to get you to perform acts and perform and put on a show and put on a front, and that's not you. And you'll look like a clown. You look like a clown. Now my thing is, this is what you look like if you know you're trying to go to college, but you out here puff and passing. Seriously, this is what you look like when you know you got a future, when you know you got things you're trying to do. You on a football team, you on a basketball team, or you know you got to do and you out here skipping class. This is what you look like, right? Where you're trying to put on an act, put on a front, put on an image to perform acts, to perform stunts. Does that make sense? This is what we look like. This don't add up. You see this, like, okay, bet. What? This is what we look like whenever we are trying to go out of our way to be something we're not. Give them a round of applause. And this leads me to my next point because I'm really finna dive deep into the scripture, but first I gotta say this. My sister was faced with these shoes, right? I have a little sister. I love my sister, y'all. Yeah. She's probably watching right now live. I love my sister. She just started high school this year. And I'm gonna just throw this out there. She goes to a Bible high school, Catholic high school. And like I said, she was faced with these shoes, literally her first 3 days in the high school. So my sister's on a dance team, right? And one day after practice, her and a few teammates were going 5 minutes down the street to get ice cream. 5 minutes down the street to get ice cream. And in these 5 minutes, one of her teammates who were driving took her around a detour. Just 5 minutes down the street to go get ice cream one day after practice. Took her down a detour and went into a neighborhood and showed her some goods that wasn't necessarily good. She was like, okay, yeah, if you want to have a good time, if you really want to have a good time, this is where you get this, and this is where you get that. Oh yeah, and if you really want to turn up for the night, this is where you get that. My sister was like, and she had the moment where she was going to either try to fit in, right? Now think about what I'm saying. It hit her 3 days in high school where she was going to try to fit in and try to perform something, put on an act, put on a front, put on a stunt, put on clown shoes to be something she wasn't, right? And my sister had to make a decision. She said, you know what, that ain't me. Y'all can keep that. She said, y'all can keep that. And I say that to say, y'all, that if that happened 5 minutes down the street, what makes us think, right, as young people, that this type of real cannot happen to us from 6th grade to 7th grade, from 7th grade to 9th grade, from 9th grade to 12th grade. Imagine how much is going to come at us from 5 minutes down the street. That was 5 minutes down the street. And that's why I get so confused with parents. They be like, it can't happen to my child. It can't happen to my baby. They go to Salem Bible Church. They go to church every Sunday and this, that, and the other. No, it can happen anywhere. It can happen anywhere. She goes to a Catholic school. And I came to also tell you this. Anytime you have a destination on your life, anytime you have a purpose on your life, anytime you have a call in your life, something will always come while you're on the way to something. My sister had a destination. It was to get ice cream, right? It was to get ice cream. And the detour came, the distraction came, the peer pressure came on her way to her destination. And I came to tell you, you got a destination in your life. Whether it's being the first person in your family to do something, to make it out the neighborhood, to make it out your home, to be the first male in your family to not go to jail because it's real for us. It's real for us, to say the least. To be the first young lady in your family to not fall victim to teen pregnancy. It's that real. To be the first person in your family to make it out, to do some things, to leave your imprint in this world. You got a destination. Let me tell you something. The distractions don't wait for you to arrive. They come before you even get there. That's why I be so confused with parents be like, oh my God, don't talk to my kid about that. No, we got to have some conversation. Because if we're not ready for it, it'll be ready for us. If we don't be ready to take it on, it'll take us out. And the perfect example with that is with Jesus. Everybody say Jesus. I like to call him JC. I just think Jesus had a lot of swag, to say the least. But Jesus had a destination on his life. Jesus had a destination on his life. I'm not sure where the screen went. I don't know how to work it. Thank you so much. Jesus had a destination on his life. Everybody say Jesus.
Jesus.
And what many of us don't know is that, okay, got you. Well, really don't need it. But Jesus had a destination on his life, y'all. And like I said, temptation and distractions, they come what? Before you get to your destination. And right before Jesus started his ministry, the devil came and tried to tempt him. The enemy came and tried to distract him. The enemy came and tried to peer pressure him, right? No, it's cool. You can turn it back on. It's cool. I don't need it. I don't need it. The enemy came and tried to distract him, right? And so one day Jesus was in the wilderness. Everybody say wilderness. For 40 days and 40 nights. And right before Jesus started preaching, right before he started performing miracles, he had to travel through this wilderness for how much? 40 days and what? 40 what? He had to travel through this wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. Because he had a destination. He had souls to save, people to heal. And the enemy came to him. And one day Jesus was chilling in the wilderness. Mind you, he hasn't ate for 40 days and 40 nights. He's tired. He's like, man, I'm tired, bro. And all he hears is, JC, hey, JC. He's like, who's calling me? Who in the world's calling me JC? All of a sudden, he sees the devil. JC. He like, oh, man, what this dude want? Somebody ever call you and hit you up? You're like, bro, what this dude, what this girl want? What they want? And that's how it was. That's how it was. The enemy was like, JC, hey, JC, over here, come here. And Jesus like, man, I'm tired. I ain't ate for 40 days and 40 nights. You got to come to me, bro. So the devil come up on Jesus. He like, hey, JC, I see you had 8 for 40 days and 40 nights. He like, bro, get out of my face, bro. He's like, oh, it's just jokes, Jesus. But I have an idea, Jesus. He said, you haven't ate for 40 days and 40 nights. He said, how about you? You see these stones? You're so-called the Son of God, the Son of Man, the Messiah. How about you turn these stones into bread? He said, how about you turn these stones into bread and eat them, and you'll be good. You'll be fine, right? And Jesus looked at him and he said, no, man may not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Now understand this. The enemy tried to get Jesus to turn stones into bread because he knew that it wouldn't be good for him. God wanted Jesus to not eat for 40 days and 40 nights. Jesus was going through a hard time. He was going through a wilderness. He was tired. He was thirsty. He was hungry. He ain't ate for 40 days and 40 nights. He was going through a tough time. And I came to tell you that if Jesus would have ate those foods, if he would have turned stones into bread, then he would have filled himself up temporarily to feel good. But he said, man may not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. So Minister Warren, what are you saying? He's saying that we do not have to live by the pleasures of this world, but by the promises of God. Listen to that. Because I came to tell you that it's going to be times where you're going to be in your wilderness, where things ain't going to be going your way, where you're going to be tired, you're going to be thirsty, you're going to be hungry. And somebody going to come up to you in high school and be like, hey, bro, try this. It'll help you feel better. Because that's what the devil did to Jesus. Turn these stones to bread and eat it. It'll help you feel better. Somebody's going to come up to you, oh, you didn't make the basketball team too? You didn't make the football team too? Shoot, you might as well just get high. You might as well just sag your pants. Somebody's going to come up to you and try to tempt you and say, oh, your parents going through a hard time, your parents going through a divorce, take this pill, bro, it'll make you feel better. That's the reality of it. Somebody's going to come up to you in your wilderness in your life and try to get you to take something. Like I said, this message will save a life 5 years from now. This message will save somebody's future 5 years from now. Even if I don't hit right now, I promise you it'll hit you later because this is the reality of it. And Jesus said, man may not live by bread alone, but what? Every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. So I came to tell somebody that you ain't got to lean on the pleasures of this world, but you got to lean on the promises of God. Because there's going to be times in your life where you're going to feel lonely, where you're going to feel like you're in the wilderness, where you're going to feel tempted, and people are going to try to say, here, take this weed, bro, take this high, bro, you'll feel good. And the enemy tried to take Jesus out. The enemy tried to take Jesus out because the thing is, if you take that, you don't know what addiction runs in your family. You don't know what substance abuse runs in your family. And you got to think about it, it's bigger than you. The enemy knew that if he would have took Jesus out, he would have took mankind out. Why? Because Jesus was meant to save us from our sins. So if Jesus would have gave into that, we wouldn't be here today. So you got to realize that the enemy, it may try to take you out in your future. Take this substance. And then when you try to go to college, you can't get in because they had tested you for drugs. Then you try to get a job that you can't get the job because they had tested you for drugs. All because you wanted to feel better momentarily. You got to peep that. Everybody say peep that. You got to peep that. Somebody's going to come to you one point in your life and try to get you to take it, but you got to say, I do not lean on the pleasures of this world, but I lean on the promises of God. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. Anytime you feel as though you're in your wilderness, you got to know that you got to lean on the promises of God. Everybody say, yeah. So the story continues, and Jesus is like, bro, get out of my face, bro. I'm leaning, I'm not living my bread alone, but by the words that come from the mouth of God. And Jesus walking again, he gets tired again, he stops, like, dang, God, like, come on, man. He's tired, he's hungry. And then the devil comes again, hey, JC. And Jesus is like, bro, stop calling me JC, bro. He's like, come on, man. All right, Jesus Christ, all right, Messiah. And what the enemy does, he does something so interesting here. The enemy basically takes Jesus to like the top of a mountain, y'all. Literally, like the top of like a super high mountain. He like, okay, Jesus, come on, I got an idea. Since you're the Messiah, since you can do anything, how about you throw yourself off this mountain? Basically try to get you to do it. And that's what the enemy was doing to Jesus. Like, throw yourself off the mountain. I dare you. The angel's going to catch you anyway, so I double dog dare you. And Jesus looked at dude and was like, no, we shall not put God to the test. And if you really don't hear nothing else I say, please listen to this. Because there's going to be people who try to get you to put your life to the test. Jesus knew that, yeah, he could have jumped off. And he would have been all right. But he said we shall not put God to the test. And how many of us young people think that we're going to be all right because we're young? But consequence has no age restriction. I'm going to let that sit. Consequence has no age restriction. Don't let people have you putting your life to the test. Because if it's not you, then stay true. Look at your neighbor and say, if it's not you, stay true. And that's just real. If it's not you, then stay true. Because let me tell you something else. The Bible says, whoever walks the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools shall suffer harm. Can anybody tell me what companion means? The friends of fools, people who surround themselves with fools. It says the companion of fools will suffer harm. This means you ain't got to be no fool to suffer the consequences of a fool. Y'all heard that saying, let me drive the boat. Let me drive the boat. This scripture is saying, be careful who you let drive your boat. Because some people would drive it down some alleys, down some dark ends, down some dead ends that you may not be able to get yourself out of. It says the companion of fools shall suffer harm. This means if you kick it in the car with somebody who's smoking, you not smoking, but they smoking, and they going up, and y'all get pulled over. Now both of y'all charged with criminal record. You ain't got to be no fool to suffer the consequences of a fool. It says the companion of fools shall suffer harm. If you say, I'm going to skip class, I'm going to try to be cool, and they smoking in the hallway or whatever, this is happening. And you're not smoking, you're just trying to be cool with your foot all on the locker trying to be seen. Don't be surprised when all y'all get suspended. The companion of fools shall suffer harm. If you let these dudes in class talk about, here we go, I guess I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm saying the dudes in class who saying, yeah, I did this with that chick, bro, I did that with her, yeah, bro. Yeah, this is real. Some of y'all experiencing this right now. Yeah, bro, yeah, bro, yeah. And then now you never did anything with a young lady, but it's got you thinking, oh, I gotta do something, man. I gotta stick myself in something. Facts. I gotta find something. And next thing you know, you got a baby. Next thing you know, you got a baby. That's the reality of it, right? In my mind. That's real. The companion of fools shall suffer what? Harm. The companion of fools shall suffer what? Harm. Harm. And I've seen it happen in my own life, y'all. How many of y'all got homies? To be honest, I ain't got too many left. I love that. You just helped me out. How many of y'all got brothers? Now, I will say this. My friend, one of my friends was like my brother. And he's not, and really what happened to him is, it can happen to you. Before I get into a story, I want to say that warning comes before destruction. Warning comes before destruction. Right? And you know that saying, you play in fire and you get burned. I'm going to be real with y'all because y'all old enough. Sometimes when you play with fire, sometimes you don't get burned, sometimes you get burned up. Sometimes you don't get burned up, sometimes you get burned to death. Because like I said, age has no consequence. Consequence has no age restriction. And I had a friend, right? I had a friend, and I grew up playing basketball with him. How many of y'all play sports? Bro, it was cold. We used to travel. We used to travel around and beat people, like bad, blow people out. I'm talking about we used to give people buckets. And he was 2 years older than me because I played up. You know, that's how good I was. But nah, he was 2 years older than me, and we even went to the same high school. And if I was to see his mama right now, I'd give her a hug. If he used to see my mama right now, he would give her a hug. So we was tight. He would come over, we'd play 2K. He was good. I used to lose bad. He was good. But yeah, we used to come over and play 2K. He used to beat me, smash me. But basically, I grew up with this guy. And like I said, he was 2 years older than me, 2 years ago. I'm 23 now. He was 23 2 years ago. He would have been 25 today. He wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't out here thugging. He wasn't out here in the streets. But he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was what? Tested. Wrong place at the wrong time. And what happened was he was in the front seat of the car, and his friend was in the back seat of the car, and they was playing with guns. And next thing you know, his friend in the back seat, gun went off, and the bullet went through the seat, through my friend's chest, and next thing you know, he lifeless on the steering wheel. And I say that to say that what? You can't play with your life. You can't play with your life. You can't put your life to the test, because when he woke up that morning, he didn't know that'd be the last time he saw his 2 little twin brothers, who I remember as babies. When he woke up last time, he didn't know that that'd be the last time he saw his single mother, who was the joy and apple of his eye. And when I was at that funeral, it was terrible, it was sad. And this happens every single day, because this message right now will save one of y'all lives 5 years from now. Will save one of y'all lives 3 years from now. I know it and I feel it, because it happens all the time. Because sometimes we as young people think we like a cat with 9 lives. Oh, it can't happen to me. I'm young. I'm turning up. You know, I'm just here. You know, yeah, hot boy, hot girl, summer. Like, no, it can happen to you. I've seen it happen to my friend, to my brother. Somebody I knew my whole entire life. That's why I say you got to be careful who you what? Let drive your what? Oh, because some people are driving down some roads, some alleys, some dark paths that you may not be able to get yourself out of. So I'm going to tell y'all this one tip. Everybody say, Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
There's God in you that speaks to you. Some of y'all are like, how do you know? I know that because y'all know that little voice that speaks to y'all, you know, right before you about to do something crazy, and it says, don't do that. And you went on and posted your feelings on Instagram, and you went on to cut somebody out. And say you shouldn't have did that. Like, come on, you ain't have to do that. You ain't have to do that. Or better yet, you know when your mama is calling your name. Anybody had it happen to them and they don't answer? Yeah, she Ward. She don't say nothing. And then something deep down inside telling you not to get mad, but you get mad and yell, what? And next thing you know, you picking yourself up off the ground. That the Holy Spirit said you shouldn't have did that. So I'm trying to tell, I say that to say that there's a voice that speaks to you. Listen to that voice. If it don't feel right, then it ain't right, and it ain't never gonna be right. And I'm not sure how much time I have, but I'm almost finna close with a few more points. Next, the story pretty much concludes. The last time the enemy tempted Jesus, right? So the first time he tried to get him to turn what? Stones into what? Bread. The second time he tried to get Jesus to jump off the what?
Bread.
Right, jump off the mountain. Now the last time he tried to do it, he tried to get Jesus to, you about to see. So the enemy comes to Jesus, he's like, bro, Jesus, bro, you've been ducking and dodging me all day, bro. Like, come on, just come on, bro. Just do something I want you to do. And Jesus like, come on, like, what? What do you want, bro? And the enemy was like, you living for God? You living for God? He said, bow down and worship me, bro. Bow down and worship the things of this world. And Jesus is like, bro, no, I serve God and God only. I serve God and God only. And there's this scripture that I really want you to know, because there's going to be so many things that's going to try to get you to turn away from God. Like I said, people going to look at you, oh, you live for God, you lame. No, I'm not lame. I'm saved. People will try to get you to say, oh, YOLO, turn away from God and just kick it. I'm not saying you can't kick it and you can't have fun, but people are trying to get you to turn away from God. YOLO, 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 but YOLO ain't real. We live twice. We live twice. There's going to be people who try to get you to turn away and say, just follow the things of this world, worship the things of this world. You got to say, no, I worship God and God only. And really the scripture says that, Deuteronomy 30:15, see, I have set before you this day life and good, death and evil. Life and good, death and evil. So every day you wake up, you got life and good, death and evil. Death and evil. Every day should be like a match. You should wake up, hear the bell, ding, 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 ding. In this corner, we have temptation, peer pressure. We have teen pregnancy. We have drugs. We have all these different things. It's been taking out your family for years. It's been leading your family into generation curses for centuries. But in this corner, we have life. We have the young person who is going to graduate college. The young person who's going to be the first millionaire in their family. The young person in here who go make it to the NBA, make it to the NFL. In this corner, we have the young person in here who's going to live out their purpose, live out their calling, be the first young man in their family to not be incarcerated in prison. Because like I said, it's real for us. So every day you got to wake up. Life is not a playground, it's a battleground. Life is not a cruise ship. Yeah, we can cruising. No, it's a battleship. And my guy that said he played football, I need you to come here. As I bring this message to a close, I want you to know that it's going to be so many things in life that's going to try to hold you back. Because somebody in here right now, you're the chosen one in your family to do something special. Jesus was the chosen one. You're the chosen one in your family to do something great. You're the chosen one in your family to do something amazing that nobody else has done. And as we go through life, there's going to be so many things trying to hold us back. Because when I think about it, when Jesus was in the wilderness, the enemy kept trying to hold him back. He kept trying to stop him from getting to his what? Destination. There we go. Destination. And I want you to know there's going to be so many things that's going to try to hold you back. Maybe you don't come from the best household. Maybe you don't come from the best neighborhood. Maybe your parents don't support you how you want them to support you. Maybe you've been through some things and had some things happen to you at an early age that you wish you had never happened, that you don't like talking about. There's going to be so many things that's going to try to hold you back, y'all. But you got to be willing to push forward, because I came to tell you this. Just because it's holding you back don't mean you can't move forward. Just because it's holding you back does not mean you can't what? Move forward. And let me tell you something. So I want you to walk, right? When I put this around you, I want you to walk 1, 2, 3, and keep going. I want you to walk at that pace. So things in life are going to try to hold us back, right? And it ain't going to be easy, right? And wait till I say go. And, all right, keep your arms up. There we go. So think of this as teen pregnancy, temptation. Think of this as your neighborhood that's trying to suck you in, that's trying to make you something that you're not. Think of this as your household, that you're thinking that just because you don't come from the best environment, that is not more to offer to this world, to this life, right? Seriously. I know this is kind of funny, but y'all about to get the point I'm about to illustrate here. There are going to be so many things in life that's going to try to hold you back, and it ain't going to be easy. I don't know who tried to tell y'all that it's going to be easy, but it ain't easy. It's not. It's going to be some work. It's going to hurt. You're going to feel a little muscle being worked, right? Because you got to resist the resistance. Everybody say resist the resistance. Resist the resistance. And think of that wall as the finish line. And I want you to keep walking. But this is what happens. Anytime, take 2 steps. 1, 2, now stop. Anytime we feel some resistance, we stop. Oh, I didn't get into the college I want to. I'm going to just stay here. Well, what you doing back? Oh, I dropped out of school, so I'm going to stay here and just, I'm going to work at Walmart. What? Oh, it didn't work out for me, so I'm just chilling. Oh, my mama never went to college, so I guess I'm going to just stop. Take one more step. I want to go to college. Oh, I want to go to college, but I ain't got the financials, or I made some mistakes, or I don't know, college ain't for real dudes, bro. College ain't for real dudes, bro. No, we thugging, bro. Another day, another dollar. No, what? There's so many things that are gonna try to pull you back, but I can't tell you that you ain't gotta settle for nothing. Whatever it is you want to do in life, reach for it. If you want to make it out your hood, if you want to make it out the neighborhood, if you want to be the first in your family, you can. Because this is what it's gonna take. It's gonna take what? Work. It's gonna take what? Work. So as he's stepping forward, keep stepping forward, and I want you to walk over to the wall. If we just move, right? This all it takes. All we have to do is move forward. And when we feel resistance, we just gotta keep moving, keep going. And it's gonna hurt, it ain't gonna be easy. Things are trying to pull us back, but if we just keep going forward, this is what it is. Can't nothing hold you back. Nothing can hold you back. And right before we get there, right before we get to college, right before we get our dream, right when we're on the verge of greatness, just like Jesus was in the desert, right? 40 days and 40 nights. Right when we're on the verge of greatness, that's when it's going to tempt us the most. That's when compression is going to be hitting us the most. That's when old boy going to be in your DMs the most. Right? But you got to fight it. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. And it may be hard. You keep going. It may be hard, but once you make it, and look at the resistance. But you got to resist the what? Resist the resistance. And he made it. He made it. Now, it may not be easy. It may be hard. But I can't tell you, you can't let nothing hold you back. You can't let nothing hold you back. And I'm going to close with this. Think of it like gravity. If I was to jump in the air, something pulls you back down to the ground. That's gravity. You got to defy the laws of gravity. You got to defy the laws of your neighborhood. You got to defy the laws of what somebody said about you. You got to defy the laws of generational curses. You got to defy the laws of the things your parents didn't do, your mama didn't do, your brother didn't do, and you got to soar above it. You got to resist the resistance. You saw he made it to the wall. He made it to the wall. So what is your finish line? Nothing can hold you back. I'm done.